Holy cow, Karen.
This is the most perfect card for Karen.
Oh my goodness.
For all Karens.
All Karens. Hello and welcome back to It's in the Cards, where we do an oracle card reading for somebody who hasn't asked for one.
And frankly doesn't care.
My name is Ellie.
And I'm Nilu.
And today we're doing a reading for the cussing in your face,
Coughing on your produce.
anti-masker,
Karen. Not to be mistaken with your Aunt Karen, who's actually a really nice lady.
She really is.
There's been sighting of Karens across the country throwing tantrums in places like grocery stores, courthouses, parks, and mini-marts, claiming that their right to breathe has been taken away.
They say that these masks are horrible. First of all, they don't keep the virus out, which doesn't eliminate the risk of infection. And then they don't let any air in, which means they can't even breathe. It's like being at a Nickelback concert.
Wait, you're saying these masks don't let the air in, but they do let the virus in, which is in the air.
Well, I was reading on this personal blog that was shared on Facebook.
Yeah, by a bunch of jobless 22-year-olds you agree with.
Well, they were saying that the coronavirus doesn't even exist and that these masks are actually really bad for you.
You know, Ellie, there's actually a group of people who study this stuff.
Yes, and they take an oath to do no harm to the public.
Yes, doctors.
No, politicians. Of course, doctors would want you to wear the mask. They want everyone to look as ridiculous as they do.
We know Karens are throwing fits, but what's stirring inside their scared little hearts?
To find out, let's turn to our oracle card deck. Your heart knows the way. Nilu, do you know any Karens?
I do, but not anti-masker Karens.
Oh, I know a bunch of those.
Yeah, and you should probably stop hanging out with them.
Let's see what's in the cards for the Karens. Okay, Karen, here is the moment of truth. Your card, card number 13. You, darling, create your pain. Let's see what the guidebook has to say about card number 13. You create your pain. Extended quote. How liberating the moment you realize it is your opinion of yourself and not the sins of others that is responsible for your suffering. Woof.
That's deep.
What do you gain from making others responsible for your pain? This card reminds you that the blame you've placed on others is rooted in the fact that you are seeing yourself as small. You've forgotten your own perfection. In your forgetfulness, you've decided that you are broken and weak. Then you've made others responsible for this decision by giving them the power over your emotions. Today, remember that your pain is created by no one other than you. Take ownership of your suffering and release others from your blame. Give up the need to be right and stop defending the limitations you have placed on yourself. You are holding the blade that cuts you, and by seeing this truth, you can choose to set it aside. It is only when you are willing to take responsibility for your pain that you can reclaim your power. Your suffering is not a sign of your weakness. It is evidence of how powerful you are. If you can create such agony without your conscious intent, imagine the joy you can foster with your conscious choice. This is how you liberate yourself from the opinions of others and take back your life. Holy cow, Karen.
This is the most perfect card for Karen.
Oh my goodness.
For all Karens.
All Karens.
I mean, what you said about making yourself small,
Yeah.
you know, like especially the Karens that were protesting in Florida about the mandates on the masks,
Yeah.
like their freedom was being taken away.
If you feel like your personal freedom is being taken away because you have to adhere to certain minimal restrictions during a global health crisis, really your sense of freedom is very, very skewed.
And also there's this dissonance inside, so clinging on to anything to create more chaos, to create a fight, to create a drama in the external when you really need to resolve it internally.
I know it's so tempting to say somebody is doing these things to me, but there's no power in that.
Yeah.
You're giving your power away every time that you try to place blame on other people.
Ellie, I think all Karens need to read Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I mean, if Viktor Frankl could find peace and freedom living inside a concentration camp, you, Karen, can find peace and freedom wearing a mask.
So Nilu, this was such a perfect card for a Karen, but what do you think are the odds that a Karen will stumble on this video?
Well, considering that Karens live amongst us disguised as normal people, I'd say 1 in 10.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
They found that if 100% of people use masks, then we can completely stop the virus from re-emerging even when we lift stay-at-home measures. It even slows the spread of the disease if at least half of the population wears masks in public. This optimistic model pairs well with some real-world examples, like the recent news that 2 hairstylists in Missouri wore masks while tending to 140 customers, all of whom also wore masks. Both hairstylists were, unbeknownst to them, sick with COVID-19. But after 2 weeks, there was no outbreak like experts feared. They offered all the customers free testing, but only 46 accepted. None of those people tested were sick.